What about your milestone goal there?
Well, I guess I'm lucky I found on it. Yeah. Yeah. It's obviously an honor to get to the 500 mark, but I have to thank all the guys along the way. Really, I mean, it's great at a personal level, but it couldn't have been done without those guys.
Yeah, it has to be nice to get it and win.
Yeah, absolutely, especially against Montreal here, with the history going back. But I thought we played well tonight. We did the simple things. We got pucks deep. We forechecked really well, which created a lot of offense. We held down the pucks and made some plays, and that was, I feel like, the difference tonight.
What was the key to the comeback, though, Mike?
I think just the momentum. We started to get momentum. We started to get a little bit more confidence, and sometimes when you can feel teams sit back, that's when you put your foot on. And I felt like we did that collectively as a group, and good things happen when that happens. So.
Is it finally good? I mean, even though, despite the record, you guys have been pretty resilient all season long, to finally have it pay off for you in a victory?
Absolutely, and it's about building and building. I mean, obviously, things don't work out the way you want, but you got to dig that much harder to get out, and that's what we've been doing and trying to do all year. I mean, obviously we have no authority to hang our hats on anything right now, but it's about these moments, about building and getting better each game. So.
Yeah, it feels good. To beat those guys 4 times, and they got a good goalie, good team, good group there. So it feels good, and it's a team that in the past couple of years we've struggled against. And I know I remembered when they came in here a couple times and beat us pretty bad last year, and it was a chippy game. And I think before the season series started, we remembered that, and we came out with 4 solid games. And tonight's a different story where we come from behind, and it took us a little bit to get going. And I think our big guys got on the score sheet, which was good to see. And Bernie did another great job.
Greener thought they let up a little bit, and you guys seized momentum at that time, and that was the difference in the game as far as you getting momentum. How did you see it?
Yeah, it was exactly. They took some costly penalties at key times, and we played a great third period at home, and we built. And on from the first period, we came in and got an early goal in the second, and I don't think we looked back from there. So even when it was 3-1, I feel like we had the game in our control.
Is it nice every now and then just to be, I mean, the record is what it is, but to be rewarded for sticking with it, because you guys have certainly come up shorthanded a lot of times, but tonight, I mean, coming back from a 2-goal deficit in the third.
Yeah, it feels good, especially against those guys. Like I said, when they're in a key spot, they're fighting and clawing for a playoff spot, and we played a little more desperate, and that's what it takes. It does feel good too to get rewarded. Like you asked me a couple of times after last game why we can't score, and it was coming, and we had a lot of chances, and we felt the past 4 or 5 games even we had tons of chances to put it in, and tonight it went in, and it feels good to have the 2 points for the team.
But you put 4 past Carey Price tonight. How does that work itself out?
It's kind of a crazy game, and you feel like you get a bunch of chances in some games and nothing just finds its way, and then you come in and one of the best goalies and find a way to put him behind him, and I think it just feels good for all of us.
How about you personally to have a 2-goal night with what you've been going through this season as a whole?
Yeah, I think it was just helping the boys get back on the board, and kind of just getting back in the game, and trying to work through everything. And I think for me personally, it felt obviously pretty good, but I think that big team win is what we were looking for.
I think you got 5 in the last 6 now goals. Is there something specific clicking for you, or just kind of things evening out?
No, honestly, nothing. I mean, kind of just sticking to the same thing, doing what I try to do out there, and not trying to do too much. Just trying to work my way through tough times, and fortunate enough, it's been finding the back of the net lately, and there's not much more I can say about that.
Andreas, a few years ago when Thomas Tatar had his bobblehead night, he had a very good game, and he started to travel with his bobblehead for luck. Are you superstitious? Will you be taking your bobblehead around?
I don't know. I might have to. I might have to now. I don't know. Something. It's got to change something. So, you never know. Maybe that'll be my new thing.
This can be a kind of tumultuous time of year with the trade deadline. How do you kind of manage the emotions of that?
I don't really or pay attention to that too much. I don't think anyone in this room really pays attention to it. I think it's those things are out of our control, and you just come in ready to work, and the business side takes care of it, and you just got to come on the ice and just play hockey.
I thought we dug in the second. I didn't think we were good enough in the first. I thought we had some guys playing and some guys were just in their jerseys. And we talked about it in between the first and the second, like we got to dig in and make sure. And I thought in the second we did a better job of that. It didn't result right away in offense, but I thought, we carried the ozone time in the second. We walked out of it tied in that period, so we were still down by 2, but I thought we had played a much, much better period. And then, we kind of stayed on it going in the third. So I was real proud of our guys for digging in. I thought a number of guys played really well as the game went along.
Can you lend some perspective to Mike Green having 150 goals and 500 points as a D-man in the league?
Well, I think it's a great tribute to him and his career, and I just really have enjoyed coaching Mike. He's a great person. Comes to rink every day. I mean, he's got 500 points in the league. Has done some great things, and he comes and works like he's a rookie, and that's what he does every day. He works that hard, and I just have had a tremendous amount of respect for him as a person, him as a player, him as a competitor. He wants to get better. He wants to learn. He's very coachable. I've really enjoyed coaching Mike, and that many points and goals. That's awesome as a D-man.
You said along the way you thought the losing might be wearing on him at times. How did you see him play through that?
He's done a good job of, I think the losing wears on everybody, but he's done a good job of coming to the rink the next day and continuing to be a great pro and be a great model for our young players of how hard he's worked in practice. And that's the thing that, to me, if there's one thing I could say really has stood out for with Mike Green for me, for those that don't get a chance to see that, is how hard he comes and works at his craft, how hard he comes and competes every day in practice. I think it's awesome. And, he's had enough things and enough accomplishments in his career that potentially he could feel like he doesn't have to, and he hasn't done that one time. He's been a great model.
I think your record was probably more visible last year when he wasn't in you guys' lineup, what impact he made. But what does it mean when you have him at the record, especially for a team that doesn't have a lot of offense on the back end?
Yeah, and I think it's not just the points and the goals. I think it's the ability to move the puck. And I think when Greener's playing his best, he does a really good job moving the puck up. And I think, tonight was indicative of when he really plays well. He jumps in that weak side ice and creates outnumbered situations when really not much is happening. All of a sudden he's in that weak side ice and does a real good job of that. So, he's important. He's an important guy in our lineup for sure. Our record last year obviously was not good when he wasn't in, and he was good when he was in. Now, that hasn't necessarily been the same case this year, but we're a better team when he's in the lineup.
Kevin, how do you explain your success against Montreal relative to the rest of the league?
I can't tell you, except for the most part, I think we've played pretty good games. We weren't good in the first tonight, but I thought after that we played good. The first game in there was one of our better games of the year. We've played pretty good hockey against them for whatever reason. I think we went through a long stretch where they totally owned us. So I don't have any reason exactly why. I can't say the matchup's that much better or anything else. It just, for whatever reason, we've played good hockey against them.